Um, let's face it, folks, by the time they stop making their truck payment, it's probably too late for you. What's the 10 steps? Okay. The 10 steps are as follows. First, it starts with getting a credit score. Okay, and then it's the credit application. That's step 2. You have to go over your terms and provisions, and something else that you might want to look at is a personal guarantee. That would be step 4. Step 5 is the verification and getting an actual credit report if necessary. It just really depends on your business and your business model. Documentation and monitoring. So you want to continue to monitor scores. You want to participate in online reputation, and that's also going to help. Written communications when things go south, and you might even look for a collection agency or professional debt recovery, so that would be step 9. And then you want to reevaluate and stay informed. So this kind of goes along with monitoring. You want to make sure you want to reevaluate the situation every so often and make sure that there are, maybe you want to increase credit limits. Maybe things have changed, locations, office locations, telephone numbers. So you want to make sure you stay current on your information. So those are the 10 steps, and so let's go over those 10 steps. So the first here is, of course, the credit score, and I think we kind of covered that already. And next is going to be the credit application. So a credit application allows a small business owner to gain valuable information before issuing credit or services, goods and services. It is recommended that full and complete information be gathered when establishing an account for your business customers. It's easier to get information while the customer is wanting a product or service from you. It's harder to get this information later. It may be difficult to obtain good information after products or services have been delivered. A little due diligence will save you time and money. So there's certain determinations you need to make on your credit application. Who's the customer? You're going to want the customer's name and the business entity information. Names and titles of the officers, which is important. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, about how they sign contracts, especially when it comes to personal guarantee. Sometimes it's better that they don't put down what their title is, especially on a personal guarantee, so mind that. And you also want some references, contact information, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, bank and trade information, creditors. You want to learn if they bounced any checks, if there's any liens or judgments, and you can gather a lot of this information through credit reporting. And you want to understand their credit limits, whether they're all maxed out or not. Okay, and you can also get this through some credit reporting. It might be useful to you. A credit application need not be lengthy and needs to be complete. This is an opportunity to set terms of the agreement. Some important terms to clarify are: does the person signing have the proper authority to be signing? Is the information complete and true? And provisions in the event of default. So you want to make sure you have written in there collection, attorney fees, interest accelerations. These types of things need to be called out. You might even want to get an initial on those line items. And just know that this isn't a complete list of things you should have on your credit application. Everybody's credit application is going to be a little different. And when it comes to terms and provisions, you should probably run this by your attorney to make sure that everything's on the up and up. So everybody has different requirements. The scale of product, services, time to complete, and other factors can determine whether or what information is required and the outcome. So be consistent, though. You want to be consistent no matter the size of the transaction. Remember, small jobs can be just as likely to default as a large job, and the cost involved in collecting may be prohibitive. So, if you say, hey, this is just a small job, and I'm just going to go ahead and skip over other stuff because, it doesn't matter as much, you might find that it'll be a total loss because by the time you send it to a collection agency or such, it'll be a total loss for you. Skipping the credit application process will leave you with very little information to go on and little to no legal binding to protect yourself when a problem does arise.